Welcome back to Enigmatic Echoes. Grab a flashlight, grab a snack, and maybe don't grab a goat, because tonight's episode has a lot of them. We're talking about GOATMAN'S Bridge, except, plot twist, there isn't just one. There are two famous ones roughly 1,300 miles apart, and somehow both involve a bridge, a backstory nobody can fully confirm, and a half-man, half-goat creature that really doesn't like visitors. Statistically speaking, if you're driving over an old rickety bridge in a wooded part of America, there's a decent chance some teenager decided a goat monster lives under it. It's basically a national pastime at this point. So tonight, we're doing a double feature. Story 1 takes us to Denton, Texas. Story 2 takes us to Bowie, Maryland. That's Bowie, not Bowie. You're not naming a dog. Two bridges, two legends, two very different flavors of nightmare. Let's get into it. Story 1. The real name of this bridge is Old Alton Bridge. Alton pronounced A-W-L-T-U-N. Built in 1884 by the King Iron Manufacturing Bridge Company. It's a narrow, one-lane iron Pratt truss bridge stretching about 145 feet over a tributary of Hickory Creek, just south of Denton, near a spot now called Copper Canyon. Here's the history part, and I promise it gets worse. The bridge originally served a little town called Alton, which used to be the county seat until Denton took over in 1857. Alton basically dried up and blew away after that. Today, it's a cemetery and an old church, nothing else. The bridge somehow survived. The legend says that decades later, an African-American goat farmer named Oscar Washburn settled near the bridge. He raised goats, sold goat meat, milk, cheese. By most tellings, he was good at it and well liked by his neighbors. He even hung a sign on the bridge that read, "This way to the GOATMAN'S," which, fair, that's just good marketing. But the local Ku Klux Klan was not a fan. According to the story, one night in August of 1938, Klansmen drove across the bridge with their headlights off, dragged Washburn from his home, hauled him into a bridge, and lynched him. Some versions say that the rope snapped, his body vanished into the creek below, and when the mob went looking for him, he was already gone, like he'd become something else entirely. Now, here's where I have to be the annoying fact-check guy for a second. Denton historian and author Shelley Tucker, who's actually researched county records for this, has said there's no documentation of an Oscar Washburn living in the area at that time, and no report of a lynching at that bridge. That doesn't mean lynchings didn't happen unrecorded during the Jim Crow era. They absolutely did, and often went completely undocumented. But a specifically named historian event tied to this bridge, the paper trail just isn't there. The legend, as most people tell it today, really seems to have taken shape starting in the 1950s, when locals began reporting a creature, not a ghost story about a man, but a goat-headed thing lurking near the bridge. So what people report now isn't really the ghost of Oscar. It's a separate, older folklore creature that got fused into his story over time. Two different scary things stitched together into one legend. Spooky Frankenstein, basically. And the encounters are the part that keep people driving out there at 2 a.m. Visitors describe glowing red eyes watching from the tree line. Some say the eyes move toward them, fast, before disappearing. Others report heavy footsteps or stomping on the metal decking of the bridge itself, when nobody else is there. Paranormal investigators who film at the bridge regularly say the same thing. An overwhelming sense of being watched from just past the tree line, right before the equipment starts acting up. There's also a second spirit said to wander the woods nearby, a woman searching for a lost child, which some connect to the Llorona legend. So it's not just a goat monster out there, it's a whole haunted ecosystem. Local advice: if you go, keep your headlights on, and whatever you do, don't knock on the bridge. Apparently, that's an invitation. Now let's talk about story 2. Let's go to Maryland, to Prince George's County. Pronounced it Prince George's, locals will correct you. In a much stranger, much more documented origin story, because this one didn't come from the 1800s, it came from a college homework assignment. In the spring of 1971, a University of Maryland student named George Lozama was doing a folklore class project. He interviewed people around Clinton, Maryland, and collected stories about a creature called the Goatman, an old man with the face of a goat and the body of a man, said to guard a bridge and attack anyone who crossed during a full moon. This got filed away in the university's folklore archive, just an academic project, nothing more. Then, that October, a journalist named Karen Hostler found the archive while digging for a spooky Halloween story. She wrote it up for the Prince George's County News, but relocated the legend to Bowie, specifically to Fletchertown Road near the Governor's Bridge, 2 weeks later, and this is where the story stops being cute. Hostler published a follow-up article. Headline: Residents fear Goatman lives. Dog found decapitated in Old Bowie. A local family's puppy named Ginger had gone missing near Fletchertown Road. Days later, they found her body, decapitated, near the site where the Goatman had supposedly been spotted. A witness named April Edwards was quoted saying, quote, "She knew what she saw was real and she wasn't crazy." Within a month, the Washington Post picked up on the story, and just like that, the class project became a regional monster. Some versions of the legend claim the Goatman was once a scientist at the nearby Beltsville Agricultural Research Center, a real facility, who was doing genetic experiments on goats that went catastrophically, horribly wrong, and the fled into the woods, half transformed. It's the classic science goes too far origin, and honestly, it's a very 1970s fear to have. And that's the same decade given us Satanic Panic and half the slasher movies you've ever seen. The bridge itself, Governor's Bridge, picked up the nickname Crybaby Bridge because of yet another legend layered on top, that if you park underneath it at night, you'll hear a baby crying, supposedly the ghost of an infant drowned there by a mother trying to hide an unplanned pregnancy. So sometimes what you're hearing under the bridge isn't the Goatman at all. It's a completely different tragedy, echoing on the same stretch of road, and the reported encounters over the decades escalate fast. Witnesses describe a 6-foot-tall, hairy, goat-faced creature that doesn't just watch, it attacks. People report it leaping onto cars, trying to claw its way through the windows, chasing teenagers through the woods behind a local middle school. Investigators exploring the area have found bones, knives, and abandoned camping gear in the woods, which is either evidence of a monster's lair or evidence that teenagers have been doing exactly what teenagers do near a scary bridge since 1971. Possibly both. By the way, a historian who actually grew up in the area, Mark Apsonick, spent years researching this, and he'll tell you plainly, older drivers used to threaten misbehaving kids in the backseat by saying they'll dump them on Fletchertown Road for the Goatman to find. So somewhere in there, the monster also became a very effective parenting tool, which honestly, respect. So there you have it. 2 states, 2 bridges, one deeply unimpressed Goatman who apparently franchised himself across the East Coast. Denton's version comes wrapped in a real, ugly piece of American history that the legend simplified into something almost bearable. Maryland's version came from a homework assignment that spiraled into a decapitated puppy and a national news story, which, if nothing else, proves that local journalists in 1971 understood exactly how to get clicks before clicks existed. Would I drive out to either bridge at midnight? Depends how good my car insurance is. Would I knock on the bridge in Texas or stop under the one in Maryland? Absolutely not. I don't need to test whether a rumor has claws. If you enjoyed tonight's double feature, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and maybe don't invite a goat to your next barbecue, just to be safe. I'll see you next time. Keep your headlights on. Good night.